This is why so many men do not share what they're actually feeling. Okay? Because when my husband and I first started dating, I was like, you're so kind and you're so good, but I don't trust you because you won't tell me how you're actually feeling, even when it's obvious. When it's obvious that you're frustrated or sad or upset or whatever, and I say, hey, it seems like you're this way, you go, no, I'm not. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Jesus. It's like you're offended that I'm pointing out that you have an emotion. Of course he was. And by the way, so was I. I was doing the same freaking thing. And neither of us knew that we were just gaslighting each other. And the reason is that asking a man, how are you feeling, is like asking him, what did you do on the second Tuesday of February 2023? They're like, I knew I was there. Like, I know I was there rationally, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's the same thing because, and I'm pointing out men because this is very common in women too. Most women are also not very good at this, but men are trained not to be good at this even more so, because if you had spent the entire day on the second Tuesday of February in 2023 saying, this is the second Tuesday of February 2023, you'd remember now because you associated it with a word. Feelings, we don't come out of the womb having words for our feelings. We just feel things and then we learn the words for them. Most men aren't encouraged to do that. If they're sad, they're told not to cry. If they are happy, they're told not to be too happy. If they're angry, they get respect. Men mostly get encouraged to have two feelings, anger and calm. And anything outside of that is not masculine. It's not acceptable for a lot of people in our culture. Okay. And that's true for a lot of women too. It's true for me. I had some pretty bad anger issues. Okay. And part of the reason is that if I had an emotion, I, without even knowing it, would turn it into anger because that made me feel powerful. That made me feel safe. That made me feel like I got respect. But then I would have so much shame later because I was like, why did I do that? Why did I act that way? So we started doing this thing because my husband and I realized what was going on. First, I created the scene method, which I use with so many couples, and I cannot believe how effective it is. When we feel angry, resentful, any emotion that is blamey, any emotion that is saying, you hurt me, here's proof, because this is how we try to share our emotions. You hurt me. Here's proof that I deserve to feel hurt or angry or whatever. Now you fix it. It's not vulnerable. It's me versus you, and it doesn't get us what we want because we're pushing the other person away. We're calling them our enemy. If I'm treating you like my enemy, how are you going to feel like you're on my team? How am I going to feel like you're on my team? I'm not. So, scene. I started to ask myself 4 questions. What am I scared of? What am I embarrassed about? What was I expecting? And what do I need? And if I answered all 4, I would definitely find out that there was something deeper to the anger. Because scared, we have fears instilled in us from childhood. I'm scared you're not going to love me if I have a different emotion. I'm scared that you're not going to respect me if I act like this. I'm scared that when you just did that, it means you don't care about me. And if we know what the fear is, then we give the other person a chance to prove us wrong. Embarrassment, whatever we were shamed for in childhood, we expect to be rejected for as an adult. So if you felt stupid all the time as a kid, when you do, and your partner comes in while you're building IKEA furniture and is like, hey, I think that goes there. You're like, stop it. Because you're embarrassed that you look stupid, even if you don't, even if that's not what they're saying. Expectations. What are we expecting? We get expectations from birth that we don't know we have. The way we expect men to be, women to be, partners to be, boyfriends, husbands. When I tell you a story, how I expect you to respond, almost always I'm expecting you to react or act the way that I would. And when you don't, it disappoints me. But if I freaking know that, then when I'm disappointed, I'm like, oh, that's what's going on. I was expecting you to be me, to react the way I would or act the way I would. You didn't, which made me disappointed. But where were you actually coming from? Curiosity for all of these. And then needs. All of these I can go so deep into because they're powerful. Like I could teach you how to use your triggers to make you connect more for fears. I could teach you what needs you actually have. Like it's so in depth, but for the sake of keeping this short, and for a lot of you, those 4 questions will just be helpful on their own. We start trying on feelings. That's how my husband and I got over this. We started trying on feelings, like clothes, like outfits. So when we realized this was happening and we didn't trust each other, we were walking on eggshells around each other. When one of us was frustrated, we would just say that we were fine. We started to ask these scene questions of ourselves, like, wait, okay, what am I upset about? What from my childhood am I projecting onto you? What am I embarrassed about? What am I expecting? Like really getting into that. So we started to try on feelings like outfits in a store, because that's how you learn. That's what we're doing when we try on feelings. We're like, oh, I'm so frustrated. And then we say it out loud to each other and we get curious together. So we say, I'm feeling this, I think. Will you understand it with me? That's the conversation. So my husband yesterday goes, I'm feeling kind of annoyed. And instead of me being like, I'm not being annoying. What do you need me to do? I went, oh, really? Why? What's going on? I don't know. I guess I think that this is happening and this is happening. And then I respond with, oh, that's interesting. We get curious about the emotion itself, like trying on outfits, finding out what is the emotion that you actually have. And it went from annoyed to, oh, I'm actually feeling kind of sad. I'm feeling kind of lonely. And I think I'm a little annoyed because I had this expectation. Like we learn what he's feeling and vice versa. And it makes us feel so close. And it is how we end up talking most days. Oh, I'm in a bad mood. I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. We are trying on feelings with each other, like trying on outfits. And the other person is responding, being like, I don't know if that fits or not. It seems like there's something missing. It seems like there's something missing. Same as outfits, like an accessory or something. You're like, I feel like there's more there. Or maybe we're misunderstanding it. You're like, oh, this is a dress, not a skirt. Or we need to add a vest or a suit jacket or something. You're like really trying on feelings together. And so what your conversation changes from, you instead of going, you hurt me, here's why I deserve to feel hurt. You fix it now. We go, I'm feeling something. Will you understand it with me? And then we get curious about it. We get curious about the feeling itself. So now we're getting really good at knowing what we're feeling. But that's because we don't have to say the right thing straight off. We get to speak freely because it's not the gospel. We're not like, this is how we're feeling. We get to speak freely because we're like, I think this is what's going on. I'm not sure. And when you start to view it that way, it doesn't feel like an attack anymore. It feels like you're on a team to understand the feeling instead of a lawyer defending that you're allowed to feel what you're feeling on the off chance that you decide to actually say a feeling. It's like so revolutionary and powerful. And I want to teach everyone how to do it. So I hope this helped. There's so much more to go into for every piece of this. Which, by the way, if you'd like to, I have a course, and part of that course is not just breaking all of this down. It's me. Like I actually have a live Q&A with the course participants every week. I have it at multiple times because I've got people in so many time zones, like Australia and different parts of the US and the UK and all over. So I meet with people once a week for 4 weeks, whatever ones work for you. And then I actually answer your questions. My husband seems to be a narcissist. My wife seems to be a narcissist. This is what's going on. When I try to share my feelings, here's what's responding. I'm dealing with my friend and I'm texting like this, and my parents are acting like this, and I don't know how to handle it. Like all of those real nitty-gritty questions and answers. It's so freaking fun. I'm really proud of the course. It's been revolutionary. It's so helpful for people. And it's really beautiful to see this work for people. And I hope it works for you. Even if you just watch this video and it changes you enough and you're like, I don't need that, great. If you're like, I want more, I want to learn how to do this better, deeper, make all of my relationships enriched, then the course is for you. Okay. Thank you so much for hanging out, for listening. And I hope you love you. I hope you love your day. I hope you love you. Good Morgan.